Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Andrea and I film videos all about my favorite cruelty-free beauty products. So today's video is going to be all about the best new drugstore products and also best new affordable products. Sometimes when it comes to new releases, and especially cruelty-free products, they're not always available in the actual drugstore right away. Sometimes they're available at Walmart or Ulta or online, and I still wanted to include them in today's video because there are so many new releases that I honestly think are worth checking out, that are affordable, that are really high quality. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. So I just filmed a video on the best and worst new eyeshadow palettes, so I will link it in the description box below if you guys want to check it out. I did include this palette in that video, so I don't want to be too redundant, but I had to feature it in this video because it is one of the best eyeshadow palettes that I've ever tried, and it's available at the drugstore, or it's from a drugstore brand. So this is the Milani Most Loved Matte Eyeshadow Palette. They just released two different palettes. This one, which comes with 12 different matte shadows, and then also a second one that comes with matte and shimmer shadows. I haven't tried the second one. I just wanted to try this one first, and you guys, it is such a high quality palette. So like I said, it does come with 12 different matte shadows. You get some great everyday neutrals, some really nice browns, purples, warm shadows. I just feel like you have everything that you would need in a matte shadow in this palette. You can use it to create some really beautiful eye looks. I don't find the matte shadows to be overly powdery. They are a little bit powdery, but I feel like the most blendable, best matte shadows are, just because they blend under the eyes really well, but they still hold their pigmentation and they look really beautiful. So I totally recommend checking this out. It is a little bit more expensive for a drugstore palette, but honestly this palette is just as good, if not better, than the majority of my high-end eyeshadow matte palettes. But if you're not looking to spend $20 on a palette, I totally understand. The Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes are so good, and they are $4.99. Now these aren't brand new, but they are a somewhat new release, so I wanted to feature them in this video. My personal favorite is Rosé in the Air, and this one comes with 10 different shadows. You do get matte shadows and metallic shadows, but this one comes with mainly matte shadows, and honestly the matte shadows are beautiful. You guys, I cannot believe this palette retails for $4.99. I've honestly had to like put this away so I can try out other palettes in my collection because I would wear it every single day if I could. A lot of people say the Rosé in the Air palette is of course a dupe for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance, and I would even say the shadows are probably dupes for the Anastasia shadows. They're very, very soft, very blendable, very smooth, and they feel like the Anastasia shadows when you're blending them on the eyes. I will say I like the matte formula better than the shimmer formula. The shimmer formula isn't anything mind-blowing, but it's okay, but I feel like the matte shadows really shine in these palettes. If you guys are looking for some good metallic shadows, you have to check out the Flower Beauty Wanderlust eyeshadow palettes. These are absolutely beautiful, and they're so unique. They just released 3 different palettes, and these are an Ulta Beauty exclusive. If you could only choose one, it's really hard to narrow it down. I would have to go with NYC Midnight Manhattan. That is my favorite. That's the one that I reach for most often, just because I cannot get enough of this gold shadow. I also love the green, the purple, the darker dramatic color, but honestly, you can't go wrong with any of them. The metallic shadows are so smooth and lightweight and so beautiful on the eyes. The matte shadows are equally as nice, but you only get like 1 or 2 matte shadows in each palette. So I really would recommend these if you are into shimmer or metallic shadows more so than matte shadows. So Essence has released a bunch of new products that I'm currently testing out, so I'm sure I will have some more recommendations for you guys in a few weeks, but one that I've really been using a lot lately is the Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. This product is so nice. It honestly feels like a high-end product. The powder is so silky smooth, and it honestly applies to your skin really beautifully. I like to take a damp beauty sponge and just kind of place it under my eyes in like that triangular area, and it really brightens up your face. It also locks your concealer into place, but also if you use it with like a large fluffy brush and don't apply as much product, it just kind of blurs that area, which is really important to me because I do have under eye wrinkles, so I don't want a powder that's necessarily going to like settle into place. I just want a powder that's just going to kind of blur my under eye area and just kind of brighten my face up a little bit. So I really enjoy this product. I think the powder is so silky smooth, and it also mattifies my skin, which is definitely important for me because I have very, very oily skin. I think if you have dry product or dry skin, I don't know if it's going to be your favorite product because it is such a mattifying powder. You could probably go in with a light hand and a fluffy brush just to kind of smooth over your under eye area, but in general, I think if you have oily skin, normal skin, combo skin, this is going to be really ideal for you. So I did film an Ulta try-on haul, and that video had a couple of first impressions in it. So now that I've really gotten the chance to try out these products for a couple of weeks, I have some updates to share with you guys. Now the first product that I want to share is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This is definitely one of the best concealers that I've tried in a long time, and it's a lot more affordable than a lot of the popular high-end concealers. So I like the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I think it is a nice concealer, but I also feel like it's a little bit hyped up, and I actually like this one better than that concealer. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape can make my skin look a little bit dry, and I don't have dry skin. I have oily skin, but it can make the area around my nose and under my eyes just look a little bit dry and patchy and not very good. So this concealer just kind of blends over any imperfections, any dry areas, any rough patches. When I blend this out onto my skin, it still looks full coverage as I blend it out, so you don't need a ton of product, which is really nice. I think you can compare it to the Shape Tape, but I also think it's a different formula. It's actually better in my mind. So Physicians Formula has released a bunch of new products, and I'm still testing out a couple of them. I just feel like there have been so many new releases that it's been hard to test out everything that I want for a video, so I'm sure I will film a part 2 if you guys do want to see that video. But they've released so many good face products lately. So the first one that I want to talk about is the Spotlight Illuminating Primer. Now I featured this in my Ulta Try-On haul, and I was so confused because a lot of people were saying that it has glitter in it, and mine has no glitter in it. Like, it does not have one speck of glitter. It is a very shimmery, very glowy primer, but it doesn't have glitter in it. So I'm really confused. Do you guys have glitter in your Spotlight primer? Because mine doesn't have any. I just think it is such a beautiful glowy primer. And I will say that I don't usually reach for super glowy primers, but if you guys are a fan of a really glowy illuminated base, this one is going to be a great option for you. I think you can use it on its own, of course, but you can also combine it with a foundation if you want your foundation to be extra glowy, and that would be so beautiful. I truly do think that it is a dupe for the Becca Cosmetics primer. Some people don't. Some people think it's not quite as good. In my mind, I've swatched them next to each other. I've used them each on half of my face, and I really don't see a big difference. I feel like the Becca primer is a little bit more hydrating, whereas this one is probably more ideal for you if you have oily skin because it's not quite as slippery on the skin, but it still gives you a gorgeous glow. I actually really like using this primer with the Healthy Foundation from Physicians Formula as well, just because with this foundation you can actually see the glowy primer underneath. I wear a lot of full coverage foundations, and when I wear a full coverage foundation on top of this primer, you can't really see like that glowy base, so it doesn't really make sense to use this primer underneath, whereas with this foundation it's more of like a light to medium coverage foundation, so you can see that glowy base underneath, and they pair really well together. So they just released this Rosé All Day Oil-Free Serum, and this product is so interesting to me. I really enjoy it. First of all, it does smell like roses, so if you are not a fan of scented products, you are going to want to skip this one because it does have a very strong rose scent. I really like it. I think if you have oily skin, this is going to be the product for you. If you do not like the Spotlight primer, if you find it to be too illuminating, too glowy, then this might be a better alternative for you. It's such an interesting product because it's kind of like a primer and skincare product all in one. I personally use it in place of a primer, but I don't necessarily use it in place of a serum. Like if I have my go-to serum that I'm using that day, I don't really replace it with this product. I'll use it after I apply my skincare as a base before I apply makeup, or sometimes I'll skip makeup and just wear this on its own. The actual dropper doesn't work that well. Like I'm squeezing it and nothing's coming out. So it's kind of difficult to work with. But if you can get some product, if you drop it onto your skin, it looks like a white cream. And then when you start blending it out, it has this really pretty, like corally pink glow to it. And you can blend it out onto the skin and you're left with a little bit more of a subtle effect. But you can layer it on if you want more of a glowy finish. I usually just put a light layer because it does dry down to a matte finish, but it also still gives you that glowy effect. But if you just want a product that's going to kind of work as a base or a primer, this might be a fun option for you, especially if you do have oily skin. And the last product that I want to mention is from Pop Beauty. These are their new Prismatic Pop Highlighters. These are absolutely beautiful. I have 4 different colors to share with you guys. I did just drop one of them right before I filmed this video. Pop Beauty is actually sold at some drugstores. So they're sold in some Walgreens, some Rite Aid, some Duane Reads. You have to go on their website to see where you can actually find the products, but you can buy them online as well. These highlighters are are so smooth and beautiful. They are just so interesting to me. Like when you touch them, they're extremely lightweight, and I feel like that's kind of confusing when you're describing a powder product, but I just feel like some powders feel like heavier on the skin than others, and these are honestly so smooth and so beautiful. Like they just look absolutely glowy and gorgeous, and I just cannot get enough of them. They apply beautifully with a brush, and they just look so diffused and natural on the skin. Okay guys, that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you let me know in the comments below if you guys have tried any new products at the drugstore or from affordable brands that you think I need to check out, because I would love to add them to my list. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.